Hello everyone and welcome to the third session from the Pilates course I'm teaching at the moment. These are classes that I do for people who come to my regular sessions when there's no pandemic taking place. So welcome to everyone else. I'll just always encourage you to listen to your body. If anything does not feel good, then stop doing it and move on to the next exercise. All you're going to need for today's 5 exercises is going to be one pillow. Good, so come down in a nice upright seated position. We are going to do an exercise called the slow double leg stretch. This is normally one where you are doing on your back, but I'm going to teach you the leg positioning in a seated position. So bring your soles together, have your knees open. So this will take your hips into an externally rotated position. From here, you're going to stretch the legs, pull the toes in towards the shins, and then bring it back into your start position. So feel the energy from your sit bones lifting you up nice and tall through the crown of the head. And again, exhale, reach the legs long, squeeze the inner thighs, pull the toes in towards the shins, and then take it back into your start. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 2 more, inhale, exhale, last one, inhale, exhale. Now come down onto your back. We'll do exactly the same with the legs. One leg up, then take the other leg up. Bring the edges of the inner side of your feet together. You're forming a diamond formation when you lie down. Keep your shins parallel to the ground, and remember to keep a nice neutral spine. So we're not pressing down through the lower spine here. We're staying relaxed, but we're keeping our hips stable. So we're going to holding on to the outside of the knees, and then as we exhale, we just reach the legs up, pull the toes in towards the shins. Arms is just reaching long by the sides of the body. Inhale, back into your start position, holding on to the side of the knees. And exhale, reaching the legs up, pressing towards the ceiling with your heels, reaching your arms nice and long by the sides of the body. Right, let's do 5 of those together. So in your start position, inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Reach up, squeeze the legs together. 2 more, inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Some of you might find that reaching up with straight legs like that is going to be quite difficult. So just keep a slight bend in the knees if that is helpful. Just hug your knees in between before I show you the next version. So this is a full version of your slow double leg stretch. So for the full version, you curl up into your abdominal curl, which we looked at in the first session of this Mat Pilates course, and then go back into the same leg positioning, holding on to the outside of the knee. So this is bringing in more challenge, and we are going to exhale, reaching the legs up. Exhale, reach the legs up, arms nice and long by the sides of the waist, and inhale back into start. Let's do 5 together. So ensure that your upper body is curling away and you're not pressing down through your lower spine. Ready? Inhale and exhale. Bring the toes in. You'll feel that it gives you a little bit more of a stretch in the back. If that is too much, keep your toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Back into the start and exhale. Number 3 and exhale. By pulling the legs into a nice upright position, you're also working the flexion here for your abdominal muscles. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. relax the head, and then just bring the knees in towards the chest. You can give yourself a little rocking motion from side to side. Now for the next exercise, we're going to go into the double leg stretch. So I will break this down into what your arms are doing, what your legs are doing, and then what they are doing together. So a great exercise for coordination. Okay, so first of all, you will have your legs into a tabletop position, bringing the legs into a hip distance position. But if having your legs up is a little bit too much for you at the moment, for your lower spine, you just lower them back down and you have them flat down onto the floor. So let's all do this version where the legs are down on the floor. The arm position of the double leg stretch is you will be holding on to the sides of your kneecaps, but with your feet down, we'll just hold on to the sides of the upper legs. And the arms, you want to imagine taking a crown off the head and reaching it over and above the head. You always want to see the arms in your peripheral vision. Try not to lower the arms all the way down behind the ears. That could put a lot of strain on the neck, especially if you're in the abdominal curl position. So the start for the arms, let's start together. It's going to be holding on to the outside of the upper legs, take the crown off and reach the arms over and above the head. Then it's a circular motion back to the sides of the upper thighs. And again, reach that crown over and above the head, seeing the arms in your peripheral vision. Circle the arms nice and wide back to the upper thighs. Let's do 4 more. And reach and circle. And reach and circle. And exhale, reach and circle, inhale. Exhale, reach. 1 more, reach. Good. Now for the leg positioning, or the motion of the legs is going to be this version. Bring one leg up, bring the other legs up. This time actually have the legs together. Shins are parallel to the ground. So the leg positioning is going to be reach the legs long at a 45-degree angle. Bring the toes in towards the shins. Now keep the heels together but circle the toes around and bring them back together again. Back into your tabletop position. Okay, so make sure you watch first. I'm going to show you again. Reach the legs, so that's your double leg stretch. Then we're going to flex the ankle, bring the toes towards the shins. Keep the heels together, circle, and bring it in, back into your tabletop. Okay, so let's do 5 of those together. I will cue you through it. Your arms just keep on holding on to the sides of your upper thighs for this version. Ready? Now reach long, flex the ankle, heels together, circle around for 1. Back into tabletop. Exhale for 2, flex the ankle, circle, back into your tabletop. Exhale. Exhale. And exhale, reach, flex, inhale, circle, back into tabletop. Exhale, reach, flex, inhale, circle, back into tabletop. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you. Now we're going to put it together, so watch. From a tabletop position, we're going to come up into an abdominal curl, holding on to the outside of the kneecaps, the legs are together. So as I'm reaching my legs, I'm also reaching my arms and at the same time flexing my ankles. As I'm circling the arms, I'm also circling the feet and back into my tabletop. So watch one more time. As I'm exhaling, I'm reaching my arm and my legs, my arms and my legs. So this is your double leg stretch. Now flex the ankles, Circle the arms and the ankles at the same time back into your tabletop position. Let's do 5 together. Come into your ab curl, keep your neutral spine, and reach arms and legs, flex the ankle, circle arms and ankles together back into your tabletop. Exhale, reach, circle, back into tabletop. 3 to go. Exhale, reach, circle, back into tabletop. 2 more. Exhale, reach, circle, back into tabletop. Last one. Exhale, reach, flex the ankles, circle, and relax the legs. Relax the upper body. Well done. So that is, for me, most probably one of the most confusing exercise when I just started out trying to understand what needs to work, what bits of the body is moving together with the other bits. Okay, so from this position, lying down, we're going to go into our shoulder bridge. So bring your feet together, open your heels and then open your toes. That gives you a nice alignment for your feet, your knees and your hips. From there, just shuffle the heels a tiny little bit closer to your gluteal muscle. The reason I'm doing that is so that when we are lifting into our bridge, we are trying to give the message to our butt muscles to do the work. When the ankles tend to be too far away, hamstrings wants to do more of the work, and so you tend to get more hamstring cramps for those people who are prone to getting a lot of cramps in the hamstrings. So get the heels closer, and then think about pressing your weight into your heels without lifting your hips. So just pressing your weight into your heel without lifting your hips, feeling your gluteal muscles switching on, and then relax. Let's do a few more of those. So press into your heels, feel your butt muscles switching on. If not, squeeze them, give them the message that they're meant to do the work, and then release it. And then again, press down into your heels, feeling your gluteal muscles firing up, switching on, and then relax it. Okay, so we're going to go into just a very basic hip lift. So there's no spine roll involved. We're just going to lift the hips up. So when you exhale, you lift the hips. When you lift your hips, the weight is now going to go onto your shoulder blades, and you'll feel the hips lifting high. Avoid the lifting up of the chest. The chest stays low, but the hips needs to go up because we're working hip extension, so that's gluteal muscles. Your arms will be face down, palms down, gently pressing down into the floor, lengthening away and pressing down into the floor, and then relax it back down again. So it's inhale, exhale, press up with your hips, gently pressing down into the floor with your palms, long arms by the sides of the waist. No pressure onto your head or your neck. Inhale, hold it here, focus on the openness in the front of the hips, and then release. Let's do 4 more. Exhale, press down into your hips. Press up into your hips towards the ceiling. Weight is over your shoulder blades. Palms are gently pressing down, and then release it. Last 3. Press up into your heels, up through your hips. Feel lengthening in the front of the body through the kneecaps, and then release it. Last 2. And exhale, press up. Really focusing on pressing down into your heels, up with the hips by squeezing the gluteal, gently pressing down through your palms. And then release it. Let's do 1 more. Exhale, down into the heels, up into the hips, stay on your shoulder blades, press down through your palms. Your tummy muscles will be engaged. If not, switch them on and then release it. Good. So that's one variation of doing the bridge. You can do hundreds. I can do a whole hour just on bridge exercises. But for the next one, I want us to bring the soles together. So this is in theme with our slow double leg stretch we did earlier with hip external rotation taking place. From here, keep the soles together And we're going to press the soles in towards each other and then lift the hips. So now you get a very open stretch here in the front of your hips. Lifting it up and then release it back down. So the breathing for this is we're going to exhale up and inhale, hold it, and then lower back down again. So let's do 5 together. Inhale. Exhale, press the soles together. Lift those hips up. Inhale. And then release. Exhale, press the soles together. Lift the hips. Inhale. Release. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, press the heels together, press the soles together, lift the hips. Feel that lovely open stretch in the front. You can still keep that gentle pressing down through your palms if that's helpful. And then release. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, press the soles together, hips are lifted, palms are gently pressing down in the floor, and then release, and we'll do 1 more. Inhale, exhale, press the soles together, inhale, hold it, and then release, and then bring the knees together. Okay, line your feet back up again, so bring the feet together, open your heels, open your toes, so that nice alignment. We still keep the heels close to the gluteals, not too close, but closer than what you would normally have them. Now we're going to focus on getting a little bit more balance in a hip while we're taking support away from the other side. So have a little look. We're going to lift ourselves back up into a shoulder bridge. So pressing down through the heels, same principles apply. We're lifting the hips and we're keeping our weight on the shoulder blades. From here, I'm going to ask you to just bring your leg into a tabletop position. We're going to hold it for an inhalation and then we're going to place it back to the start position. And then again, exhale and lift the other side. So when we lift, there's a tendency to then drop through that opposing hip. So I want you to focus on keeping the hips in exactly the same spot when you exhale and you lift the leg up into tabletop. Okay? So we are going to do 3 repetitions of lifting up. And while we are lifted, we're going to do a little march. So just follow my cueing. Exhale and lift into your bridge. Gently pressing down through your palms, your weight's on your shoulder blades, your hips are nice and high, but not too high that you feel any pinching in your lower spine. And actually what I want you to focus on here is, think about tucking your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So that's really helping you to focus on keeping your neutral spine and engaging your gluteal muscles. Right, so keep the stability, press down into your palms. We're going to lift the left leg up first. Exhale, left leg up. And lower down on the inhalation. Exhale, right leg up. And inhale down on the inhalation. Exhale, up into tabletop. Inhale down. Exhale, up into tabletop. Inhale down. 1 more. Exhale, up. And down, exhale up and down, lower all the way down. Good, so that is number 1. We've got 2 more to go. Again, press up into your bridge and let's start lift into tabletop, lower down, exhale right, exhale left, exhale right, exhale left, exhale right, and lower down. Good, so we've got 1 more. Exhale up into your bridge. Remember to tuck that tailbone up towards the ceiling, pressing down through your heels. Exhale right this time. Inhale down. Exhale left. Inhale down. Exhale right. Keep that tailbone lifted. Exhale left. Exhale right. Exhale left. And then lower down. Well done. So that is our shoulder bridge. We are now going to do an exercise called the rollover. So this is really good for lower abdominal muscles. And in my sessions, I see people really struggling with lower abdominal strength. And one way of doing this that makes it slightly easier is actually when you're at home using a pillow. So the larger the pillow, the easier it's going to be for you. So when you are on your back, lift your hips and then place a pillow underneath the hips, sort of halfway underneath the spine as well. And watch first. So this is a great exercise for mobilizing the spine. A lot of people tend to feel a little bit scared of this one, and I'll show you different variations that's going to make this easier for you. So we're going to lift one leg, we're going to lift the other leg. We're going to have our palms. This time we're really going to press down through the palms by the sides of the body. And all we do is we bring it, as we exhale, we roll the spine away from the pillow and we come into this roll over position. Our weight is over our shoulder blades and we are not sinking the legs down in towards the chest. We're keeping it away from the chest. But you want to feel C-curve, a roundness in the spine here, and then control it back down again. So for a lot of people, just bringing it into that position might feel scary, or they might not have the strength for the in the lower abdominal muscles. So all you can do is just work on the exhalation, lifting the hips away from the pillow and releasing it. So we'll do that variation first. So let's do 5 of those. Exhale, roll away from the pillow, back down again. So you can use a little bit of momentum here. Exhale. 3, 4, 5. Good. Now, if you want to progress or just keep on warming up for a full rollover, take your right leg into a straight leg position. And then we're going to roll over a little bit more. So you'll find that straight leg helps you go a little bit further. So let's do 5 of those with the right leg and then 5 with the left leg. And roll, release. Change legs, roll, back into tabletop. Right leg, roll away, release. Left leg, roll away, release. Right leg. And left leg. And right leg. And left leg. Right, so to take that exercise a little bit further, now I will encourage you, and this is the way I'm doing this course as well, I'm showing you different variations, so you'll find a variation of that exercise that works for you. So to do the roll over without pillow support, we are going to stretch the legs at a 45-degree angle, and then as we exhale, roll away, having your weight over your shoulder blades, not on your neck. Inhale, hold it here, and then release it nice and controlled back into 45-degree angle. Inhale, exhale, roll over, keep your hips up and high towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then release it back at 45. Inhale, And exhale, roll over. Inhale, hold it. And then release. And if you're going to do the last two, I'm going to encourage you to inhale into your belly when you're in the roll over position. Just listen to my cueing. Exhale, roll over, press down into your palms. Keep your hips nice and high. Focus on a nice C curve in the spine. Now breathe into the belly. And then release it back down again. 45-degree angle. Last one, exhale. Breathe into the belly. And then release it back down again. 45-degree angle. And then just keep your knees hugged in. Give yourself a little rocking motion from side to side. We'll finish off with an extension exercise. So from that position, roll onto your tummy. Have one hand on top of the other hand. Your legs are slightly apart. You're going to rest your forehead down on your hands. And this exercise is called the gluteal squeeze. So you're going to bend your knees. Bring the heels together. And then all we do is we're going to squeeze those heels together for a count of 3 and then relax them. Make sure that in this position you're also pulling your tummy muscles in and you're focusing on tucking your tailbone down towards the floor. And no tension in the shoulders and the neck. That part is not getting involved. Inhale. And exhale, squeeze for 1, 2, 3, and then relax. Let's do 4 together. Inhale. Engage the tummy muscles and exhale. Squeeze the heels for 1, 2, 3, and relax. Inhale. And exhale. Squeeze the heels together for 1, 2, 3, relax. 2 more. And exhale, squeeze the heels together for 1, 2, 3, and relax. Engage tummy muscles and squeeze the heels together for 1, 2, 3, relax. Now the way you take the challenge up here is by squeezing a little bit harder so that you just feel the tips of your knees lifting away from the floor. Listen to your lower spine, so if that feels too strong for the lower spine, just stick to this version when you're not trying to lift your knees away from the floor. Inhale and exhale. 1, 2, 3, release. So for some people this might bring on a little bit of hamstring cramping, so just listen to those hamstrings, don't go too tense if that's going to cause you to cramp up. Inhale and exhale, lift, release. Squeeze and lift, release. Squeeze and lift. It doesn't have to be a high lift. Release. One more squeeze and lift. And then release. Well done. Right, so that is the end of the third session of this mat course. Look out for the next session where we will be covering the next 5 exercises. And thank you very much for joining me. See you in the next session.